Episode number 782 on this Monday. What is it? The 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. Woo. Look at this. I hooked back up the professional mic. I'm going back to the professional equipment for you loyal listeners. Actually, what happened was I forgot that I had this equipment because it was all packed up and I was just using handheld. And then I realized, fuck, I got a mic stand and a good mic. Let's whip that shit out for the listeners, the easy listeners. How are you guys? I'm just fucking babbling on right now. It's Monday morning and it's beautiful out today. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, but man, it's been like 80 degrees all week. Just throw that at your fucking ice cold middle America, wherever you are. But we're speaking about that. I love everybody's always like, fuck California. I just read this thing that uh, everyone's moving back. There's like a massive number in 2024 of people coming back. And I was pissed. I was like, no, keep saying this place sucks. Thin it out. Thin it out, man. Make it like the 70s where you could just fucking drive over to the Comedy Store in like 6 minutes from across town. Anyway, welcome back wherever you moved from or, moved to and moved back. Whatever. Ah, fuck that place, man. It's kind of cool. I got to go back. Lots to talk about today. It is a solo episode. And, we got the Christmas coming up. The first thing that always hits me on Christmas is toys, man. When I was growing up, I just fucking loved toys. And I remember, I don't know if you did this, if your mom did this or your dad or whoever, because they're acting like they're gonna take your list to Santa, or you bring it to the mall Santa. The mall Santa still around. Hats off to the mall Santa. What a fucking job that must be, man. Just hearing, just bullshit all day. Man, I want this. Mall Santa. Here's my list. Make sure you get all this stuff on the fucking list. Anyway, there was these kind of toy catalogs. I remember a couple days ago, I was thinking about it. You would get them. I don't know where you would get them. I can't really remember. Maybe it was in the mail or it was, I remember now. It was like a Sears catalog and they had another catalog. You'd get it, circle stuff in there that you wanted. And I still, to this day, there's like Instagram accounts that pop up in my feed and they just show these toys that were just in fucking insane how cool the toys were of the 70s when I was growing up. One of the main ones that I saw that immediately gets in your blood once you're into motorcycles is Big Wheel. The Big Wheel is absolutely the skin your elbows, break an ankle maybe, road rash for sure machine that I don't even know if they could get away with selling it now. You'd have to wear a helmet and you'd have to go to a big wheel training school and then get certified for your big wheel helmet certification. You're out there 8 years old. But man, the big fucking wheel. And the other one, what was the other one? The green machine. It was like a deluxe big wheel that you could fucking turn left or right and it would just whip the back end. You could just do donuts. That's what The big wheel had a handbrake and it would just slide one way, but the the green machine, I think that's what it was called, you could go left or right. And immediately you just found a fucking hill wherever you lived. There was some kind of hill you hoped. We had a kind of a hilly driveway. You just get right out there immediately and go straight down, slide, roll off that fucker, and just get a just cherry skin burn. Just peel skin off you, you know? Kind of like when I got ran over by that lady on my motorcycle and got a deluxe version of that. I think the reason I was able to handle it was all of the early road rash I got from a big wheel into a mini bike, into, whatever you get that you would just crash in a go kart, all that shit. Rope swing, the fucking rope swing. The rope swing to me is the most insane thing because they just appear one day when you're at like the river or in the woods and you just go, oh, a rope swing, and zero fucks about who put it up or if the rope's any good. You immediately just climbed up a side of a cliff or a tree and got onto the rope swing and just fucking swung, not even questioning it at all. Like, who put this up? Rope swing is a lot to me like the Playboy magazines in the woods. Who did that shit? Who sprinkled the Playboys in the woods? Who put the rope swings up? Who left the half a joint behind somewhere? Who are those fucking golden gods? Give them an award. It's crazy though. It's funny when I started comedy, every comedian had the joke about like internet porn. Back in my day, you had to go out to the woods where a stranger left some Playboys in a tree fort. I think Marin had that bit. A couple other people were talking, but that's just true. It was just fucking weird. Tree fort porn and a fucking rope swing. Wild. Rope swing. Anyway, so toys. I grew up, I fucking loved toys. And I guess they were called action figures later in life, but dolls. G.I. Joe, Bionic Man. What else? Stretch Armstrong. Stretch Armstrong. I saw somebody recently on the Instagram blow up a Stretch Armstrong with like fucking water. It was crazy looking. But the Stretch Armstrong, that thing was fucking cool. Just these people that invented these toys. Hey, I got a toy we could make. It'll just be like a wrestling looking dude, and we'll fill it up with like a blue goo, and the kids could just pull it. It's kind of like Gertie with like a chew toy. The kids will just pull it. Yeah, and what else does it do? Nothing. One guy's on one side, and then the other guy's on the other side, and they just pull it. And they go, yeah, but are they going to dig it? Oh, yeah. Kids are going to love this, just pulling a man's arm. Like maybe it's their evil father, like pull his fucking arm off. That's what you do with a Stretch Armstrong. Stretch Armstrong, after about a week, you get bored of just pulling the arms. You pull it and then it go back to shape. You get bored and then you just stab that fucker with a pencil. Evil child. They're like, let's see what's in this fucking thing. Ugh. And then blue goo would come out and your Stretch Armstrong would be fucking done. The toys of the 70s, a lot of them made were by this company called Whammo. And they'd have a TV commercial would come on with just kids, they'll slip and slide. That was another thing that fucked you up. You couldn't have slip and slide. Now you'd have to go to training. Like I said, get the helmet. You'd have to do the slip and slide in a helmet. But yeah, they'd be like, Whammo presents the slip and slide, and just show these kids fucking running as fast as they can, just sliding on this water yellow mat. And we didn't have money for one, so we just got green garbage bags and sprayed them down. And sliding, just landing on your chest, knocking the wind out of yourself, sliding. Fucking nuts. The water weenie. I don't know if you remember this, but it was like a big yellow. It looked like it was a strong water balloon basically, and you fill it up, and then it had like a nozzle, and you just spray people like you're driving in your buddy's first car, Datsun B210. Some kids are just riding home from school. You just come out, just spray kids. Holy shit, man. Childhood memories. But the toys were a big day. You wake up in the morning, you hope you got the fucking G.I. Joe with Kung Fu grip, but instead your mom fucked up and got you the Ken doll or Big Jim. That was my mom. I wanted G.I. Joe. I've been working on this bit for 10 fucking years. I don't know how to do it yet, but it's a story about my cousin and myself on Christmas Day. He got the G.I. Joe and I got the Big Jim or the Ken doll, one of them. And I was just like, oh, fuck, this isn't cool. I'm going to get this bit one day. And when I do, it's going to be, I'll know I'm at another level as a comedian to be able to tell this story right. But it definitely gears around lunatics that say being gay is a choice. They chose to be gay. Those people, instead of going like, oh, no, they're just born different, dude. Nope. They chose it. And that is the gist of the bit. I got to figure out how to do this bit because it means a lot to me and I'm going to get it one day when I do. And the thing is, you got to practice the bit. And if it comes out wrong, it's such a touchy subject that you're like, fuck, I'm not doing it right yet. Anyway, I hope you guys get some toys on Christmas Day. I do remember one of my favorite toys was the $6 Million Man, the Bionic Man, Colonel Steve Austin. One of the great, great TV shows when you're a kid, and which I just read that the $6 billion Man got shelved, or I don't know what happened, but they were making it or it's made and maybe they test screened it and it didn't fucking happen. But I was looking forward to seeing the $6 billion Man. I think Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark, and the Funky Bunch. I think he, Marky Mark and the Funky Billionaire. I think he was working on it. But yeah, and I hope to see that. Which, by the way, I'm getting ready to see that Zeppelin film. It's finally coming out. I've known about it for 2 years. I think they screened it at Cannes, or if you've been a listener here for a while, Cannes. I think they filmed it at Cannes Festival. And then it kind of went away for a couple of years. And then I read recently that they re-edited it and they renamed it. And a couple friends of mine went to a screening of it and said it's absolutely mind-boggling. And they said one of the things that's most insane about it is the sound, which Jimmy Page is definitely always going to be making sure that his shit is top notch. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And then I'm going to see the Bob Dylan movie here in a couple days. And I'm dying to see that. The trailer looks good. I talked about it. Timothy Chalamet looks like he's fucking nailing it. I did clown on the sunglasses. They looked wrong, but I was thinking about Dylan. And I feel like I don't know if there's really a person who, I'm sure there are. I mean, of course, because when he came out, there was a group of people that loved Dylan right out of the gate back there in that, West Village era and folky era and all that. But I feel like most people, including myself, eventually acquire the taste and understand Dylan. When you're young, you're like, this guy can't sing. That's hilarious. Everybody, singing's awful. And then when you really think about it, I think you just get into one frame of mind of like, I don't like that. And then one day, hopefully, and I think it happens for about 70% of the Dylan fans, you just go like, oh yeah, he's way better than everyone. That's kind of why I didn't understand it. It's just fucking way up there in the genius level, you know? And there's all these different eras of Dylan, which by the way, the film is kind of like the beginning of Dylan to right when he goes electric. And if you don't know about that, you must be sleeping under a rock. Everybody knows that infamous concert where he plugs in the Stratocaster and the people go fucking loony, like, no, the super folky, you know, uh, just the original hipsters, the original fucking. Oh, before I go on with this is how my brain works. I want to give a shout out to that guy, David Frick. He's got I've really been getting into the station number 28, the Spectrum on Sirius XM. And David Frick has a show. And I got to tell you, man, I met him at the Def Leppard Journey concert at the Garden. I was really hoping to get him on the podcast, but this guy is just like, I love music and I know a lot about music and I've been engulfed in music most of my life, but this guy's just another fucking level. Anyway, I wanted to give him a shout out. He does he does a show once a week on Sirius XM. Anyway, back to the Dylan thing. People are, they're kind of like, what era do you like of Dylan? And that's what's funny because you get into an era and then eventually you go to another different era of Dylan. And eventually you love all Dylan and realize, God damn, this guy was constantly reinventing himself, constantly writing tunes, even when people thought he was done. When he was on that fucking, county fair era of his life where he was out. He's like touring fairgrounds, and most people were like, Dylan, man, that's your fucking dad's music. That's old. He drops Time Out of Mind and completely hits the stratosphere again. Grammys, massive sold out shows. And that wave is what he's been on since Time Out of Mind and the records he's released after that. And it's an amazing, amazing career. And it's going to be absolutely fucking awful when this man passes. He's up there, but he's just touring till the day he dies, like the great Willie Nelson. And I don't think there's anyone more mysterious than Bob Dylan, man. If you watch any of these interviews, the last one I think was like maybe 10 years ago or so on 60 Minutes, one of my favorite interviews with him. But it is wild to think about Dylan, you know, just, I mean, they're going to do just that one section of his life, but you could do like 10 films with Dylan. I talked about it. They did that other one with the different people playing him. But I was looking at let me look at this again. Some of my favorite Dylan records, just to get you guys going. I absolutely love this strange Christian era when he goes Christian. Desire, 1976. It is just a masterpiece. It's got Hurricane on there. It's got One More Cup of Coffee, which I absolutely love. It's got Oh Sister. That record is unbelievable to me. And Mick Taylor plays on that record after he leaves the Stones. Really fucking cool. Of course, Nashville Skyline. He's hanging around Johnny Cash at that time. He's writing unbelievable songs. Girl from the North Country, Nashville Skyline, Lay Lady Lay. Absolutely love it. Decides to sing a different way just to show you guys. And his that photo shoot from that record is unbelievable. Time Out of Mind, I talked about it. 1997, 100% masterpiece. Bringing It All Home, 1965, masterpiece. Blonde on Blonde, masterpiece. Blood on the Tracks, his divorce to Sarah, that record. Tangled Up in Blue, one of the greatest songs ever. Um, that record is unreal. All right. And then, they did that documentary on him, which is absolutely a masterpiece. No Direction Home. That was Scorsese did that. And there is a version on that. There's like a soundtrack super box from that. And the Ballad of Thin Man, which is my favorite Dylan record song, The Ballad of Thin Man, is on that bootleg box, and it'll blow your fucking mind. I mean, it blows my mind. But then think about Dylan. He's doing all this Dylan stuff, and then one day he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna tour with the Dead." Dylan and the Dead, 1989. Fucking crazy. Oh my God, you gotta love this man. So many good records. He did an MTV Unplugged in 95, you know, just coming out after a long, long career. They go, "Oh, we're doing this Unplugged show. Got to get Dylan on there." Anyway, my point is people find Dylan when they find him. And I think you cannot deny Dylan if you're a true music person. You can't go through life going, "I never liked Dylan." You know, I never will like Dylan. That just can't happen, you know, because eventually you get it. Anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing that and the Zeppelin film and, and then what else? I still didn't get to see Queer yet. I don't know, man. I try to get to the movies. They're talking about how bad the music or the movie business is after COVID. It just became a thing people just don't really do. Wicked's killing it. I have not seen Wicked, but holy shit, it's selling tickets. And I said this before. Each year, there's like 3 movies everybody goes sees, and then they don't go see any other movies in the theater. So, I don't know. I got to see Wicked. I got to see Queer. I got to see what's that other one? Ariana or whatever. There's some films I got to see. And I'm going to be in Vegas for a week, and I usually hit the movie theater while I'm there because I'm there 7 days. If you want to see me, it's going to be December 30th through January 5th. Comedy Cellar, 2 shows a night in Las Vegas at the Rio Hotel. Looking forward to that. Doing a lot of Vegas for the next 4 months to work on this new material. Okay. I'm going to dive into this, and it's a tough one because it deals with death. And the older I get, the scarier death is. If you're a happy person, I think, if you're doing something you love, you definitely you're afraid of death. Or maybe if you're unhappy, are you really afraid of death? You'd be like, fuck it. Let's get out of here. But an interesting thing has happened in the last, I don't know, 15, 20 years, probably 20 years. The way you find out about somebody, that has died is usually on the internet. You wake up in the morning, TMZ, bam, such and such has passed away, Charlie Watts. And then everybody texts each other, fuck. You see that? I do this bit where I say, everybody's got that friend. Yeah, I call him the Grim Reaper, you know, where they only contact you when somebody from your past dies, you know, like you don't hear from this friend for years and all of a sudden, like, hear about Steve, you know, and you're like, ah, this fucking guy, the Grim Reaper. And it's a strange thing to find out that a friend of yours has died from the internet. You know, I woke up a couple mornings ago, fired up Blabbermouth. Usually I go on Blabbermouth. It's a website I check out because they post a lot of my content on there. And I'll go to Blabbermouth and then I'll go to one of the news pages or whatever, just see what's going on in the world. And bam, I open it up, Blabbermouth. It was actually, you know, the first time that I found out on the internet that a friend died before I got the text. And I realized why, because the two people that knew that he had passed, I'm talking about Casey Chaos from the band Amen, but also one of my long friends. And I opened up Blabbermouth and there it was, Casey Chaos, dead at 59. And it fucking punched me in the gut, man, to find out on the internet. And I kind of couldn't believe that it was just like, bam, there it is. A friend of yours has passed and it's right there in your face on the internet. And and also I have this tough time with people that just text you. If it's a friend, they're like, hey, Jim's gone. I feel like people got to have some kind of etiquette. Like they text you and they get you ready. They go, hey, man, what are you up to? And if you go like, oh, man, I'm out at lunch right now with a friend, or I'm, I'm in the middle of working, or I'm about to go on stage. The reason I'm saying this is you need to see what the person is doing and what mood they're in or whatever. People they just throw this shit, major, gloomy, brutal news right at you in a text. I'd found out my dad died about 3 minutes before I was going to step on stage at the Irvine. No, it was the, what's that other improv? It's down there. I can't remember. One of the improvs. I was in the green room. I'm about to go on. I'm looking over my notes and I get a text. Your dad died. And I'm like, wow. Thanks for the zero buffer. You got to give people a buffer. You got to figure out what kind of fucking mood they're in or where they're at or what they're doing. You can't just fucking bam, throw the darkest fucking news at someone and not even ask what they're doing. You go, hey, what are you up to? Oh, man, I'm out eating lunch. Okay, cool. Text me later on when you got a little time. I want to talk to you. Which I will admit, that kind of shit bugs me too. It's like, wait a minute. No, just fucking text me right now. What's going on? Because when somebody sends that to you. But my point is, you got to fucking feel it out. And with the internet now, this was really the first time, I think, that it was a friend of mine that I found out on a website, which really fucking had an effect on me all day. I was just like, damn. The fucking internet was the Grim Reaper today. The internet told me that Casey Chaos had passed. And, look, I'm going to tell you right now, in the 90s, I believe it was the 90s, I met Casey on a 4th of July in Riverside. Okay. We were really young. I think we were in our, I don't know. I don't know how old I was in the 90s, but I'm 58 now. So whatever. I go down to Riverside for a 4th of July. This guy, John Butler, who played in the band Roxanne, was going to join my band. Roxanne had broke up. It was looking like we were getting a record deal on Virgin Records. Somebody recommended this guy. We got on the phone. We talked. Back then, no cell phones, none of that shit. He lived in Riverside. He sent some photos and audio of his playing. I said, fuck, let's audition him. He auditioned. He was great. And he joined the band. So I happened to go down to Riverside, loaded up a U-Haul, a small U-Haul or a van or something we had. It was 4th of July weekend, and he was going to move up to the Bay Area. In the meantime, we were going to spend a little 4th of July weekend in Riverside with all his friends. And at this party, I think I talked about it before, I met some of the greatest humans and friends of mine for life, if they're still alive, from that weekend. And it was a weekend I never forgot. We did the infamous firework war that I've talked about, where we were shooting Roman candles at each other for hours on mushrooms from somebody that went to Mexico and bought $5,000 in fireworks, which back then would be about $50,000 in fireworks now. And at this 4th of July weekend, I met Casey Chaos. And we quickly became great friends from our love and obsession of music, Porsche cars, BMX, skateboarding, and films. I mean, we fucking hit it off, man. And for years, we hung out. And I helped him get his band Amen together later on. And my former guitar player, Cliff Whittemore, joined Amen. And my brain is a little blurry, but Cliff has a great memory because he did not do drugs and booze. And neither did Casey when I met him. Casey was a straight edge human, influenced heavily by the great Henry Rollins and Black Flag and all of that punk era. So Casey did not party, and he loved to watch us get crazy. And he got crazy too, but he just didn't party. And, his band Amen got together. They got a record deal, and he started to kind of skyrocket in Europe. On the cover of Kerrang, playing Donington, all kinds of great stuff. Getting a record deal, Ross Robinson doing his record, the great Ross Robinson, putting out the debut record in 99, and then We Come For Your Parents, the second record, with incredible songs like Coma America, and it was just molten. It was a combo of Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, a little metal, and Casey played the guitars and wrote the riffs and everything on those records. But he was an insane frontman who would do anything for the show. Break bones, dive off PAs, cut himself, whatever. He was influenced by Iggy, Rollins. There's a great photo of Casey. He's like 13. He's in the front row of a Black Flag concert. And he's like reaching out, and Rollins is in his face. This is like a famous photo. This guy was the real deal. He was a skateboard superstar out in Florida. He had this band, Casey Chaos and the Skate Punks. The guy in just lived music. We would go to Amoeba and he'd be in there for hours going through the fucking CD, finding bands that he'd never heard of. Look at this. Let's listen to this. Driving around in LA in his Porsche 928 late at night, cranking. I'll tell you an amazing Casey story I have. He picked me up at Burbank Airport one day and he goes, "Hey man, I got some connections. I've got the new Metallica and I've got the new Alice in Chains." This is before they were out. The Black Album, and I believe it was Dirt. Let me look at this time frame here. And I still have it. He gave it to me on cassette. So Black Album came out, I think that's here it is right here. What is that? 91 or something? Let me see. Yep, 91. And then Alice in Chains, Dirt. Is this 91 or 92? Let's see. Dirt album, 92. So I don't know if it was the Dirt demos or what, but anyway, he had this shit before it was out. And we got in the car, and I remember hearing Sad But True. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I remember hearing Down in a Hole. And it was like some of the heaviest music I had heard. I have so many memories of Casey, so many stories. We hung out thousands of hours, millions of laughs, and shitloads of hangs at concerts, staying at his house for weeks on end, sleeping on the couch over in Van Nuys. His whole band, Amen, lived in there. They rehearsed in the garage. It was the real deal. And it's somewhere along the way, I stopped partying and he started partying, which I was like, all right, interesting. And over those years, we kind of went separate paths, you know? And over the last 15 years, I've seen Casey. I saw Casey twice. Once we had lunch at the Saddle Ranch. He brought his pug dog Iggy to the lunch, and I would just started comedy, and he was like, "Man, you're gonna kill. You're gonna kill out there. You're gonna do great." Which Cliff called me yesterday and told me a story that he said that one time him and Casey were watching my band, and I guess I was holding court in between the songs, cracking people up and shit. And Casey said, "Man, he should be a comedian. That's what he's got to do." And he was right, man. He was right. And the last time I saw him was last year, a year ago, coming up here almost to the day at the Super Bowl. Not at the Super Bowl, but a Super Bowl party. He was there. And I was like, holy shit, Casey. And he got up. He said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I thought he was going to the bathroom, and he split. So I didn't get to talk to him. But we had definitely grown far apart over the years. And, but I cherish those early years that we hung out, from Riverside to him moving to San Fran to, me booking them at the Stone multiple times, all of that. And he's gone. But I recommend you go check out his music. It is fucking fiercely heavy, and it is the real deal. He is the one that taught me, or not taught me, but turned me on to some outside the box stuff, like performance artist Karen Finley. I would have known about Karen Finley without Casey. Nick Cave, "Do You Love Me?" Casey immediately turned me on to Nick Cave when we first met. He also turned me on to the Swans and a lot of other stuff. We shared our love for turning each other on to shit. Like, listen to this. There it is, man. A friend is gone, and the older you get, you lose friends, and you lose touch with friends, and you just got to cherish those times that you had with them. And it's it's fucking wild. I'm gonna be 59 February 3rd. He was only 59. He did have a lot of health problems. I don't know how he passed. And that's an interesting thing when people pass, especially if they might have a history of drugs or they have a history of depression and gloom. That's always the thing immediately hits you. You go, suicide or drug overdose. And you're kind of like, well, which one? They're both dark. But that's, everybody has that one friend when they pass, you're like, ooh, suicide or drug overdose. But with Casey, it could have been his health, as he always had serious breathing issues. Serious since I knew him. Bad health. Anyway, there it is, man. A fucking true music soldier. He only did music. I never heard him go, I got a job. This guy only did music the entire time I knew him. Never, never had, never like, I got to take a fucking job here. The guy was a full on musician till the day he died. Anyway, there it is, man. Fucking rough. Um, and Ricky Henderson died the same day. The Oakland A's Major League Baseball Hall of Fame superstar, Ricky Henderson, died of pneumonia at like 65 or something. It's 2024. My mom, when she passed, rest in peace, 2 years, coming up on 2 years now, January 2nd, she had pneumonia and they could not fucking beat this. How can we not beat pneumonia in 2024, 2025? How is that even a fucking thing? You know? Ricky Henderson, man, I saw the man play live a bunch of times. And, some of those early sports stars to me are just as memorable and incredible to see live as the musicians I've seen. I mean, I hold a Joe Montana game, 49er game up there, right up there with, and I'm not like the sports guy, but you go and it's incredible to see somebody amazing at what they do, a painter, a fucking baseball player, a football player, a musician, a comedian, whatever the level of greatness someone gets, like the humongous, fucking trying to grab some words here. But when you see massive greatness, you never forget it. I never forget, Ricky Henderson. This guy was the king of getting on base. And you never forget Joe Montana and Dwight Clark, the catch. You never forget stuff like that if you saw it. So Ricky Henderson, man, rest in peace. Also, the same fucking day, just a double whammy. Woo, man. I want to talk a little bit of speaking of musicians. Mm. Oh man, got this apple cider vinegar, fucking water and apple. Oh man, I got it at the farmer's market. I'm I just think about when I was young, how fucking hard I partied. And now I'm at farmers markets on Sunday morning. Is that organic peanut butter? Mmm. I picked up some guy's, organic apple cider vinegar, and it is fucking potent. I mean, potent. This one would put fucking hair back on Brody Stevens' skull. Brody Stevens, apple cider vinegar. You got it. One shot in the morning. But speaking of musicians, I saw that Don Dokken is selling his Harley FXR on eBay. And it was at 13 grand the last I checked, but there's just a photo of him on it. And you can see it's in a storage container, a storage unit, those ones you rent. They're like the long alleys of storage units. He's just obviously pulled it out like, let's sell that fucking thing. And let's see what it's at, actually. It was at 13 grand. Harley FXR, one of the probably the best Harley other than the Knucklehead and the Panhead, but the FXR is known for its incredible handling. Let's see what the old Don Dokken Harley's at right now. It's at 13,100. It's got 34 bids. There's no reserve, so somebody's going to get it. It's out in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I don't know if Don Dokken moved there or that's where a storage unit is. 1990 Harley Davidson rare FXR with only 4,000 miles on it. Don did not do any riding. Bike was in storage for 25 years. Forward controls, which I hate. You want mid controls on a FXR. Powder coated rims and handlebars. Corbin seat. Mild cam, new tires, new cables. The bike has been completely reconditioned, recently serviced. There's a video of my friend Luca taking it for a test ride. As you can see in here, it has loud pipes. So there's a photo of Don, and he's just on it. He's wearing like a fucking New Mexico, total Southwest type sweater. He's got a smile on his face, which is cool. And he's got mini ape hangers on it, which is not a handlebar that 99% of the FXR riders would have. FXRs are kind of the bike that the outlaw motorcycle clubs would ride, like Sam Crow, Sons of Anarchy. They ride Dynas and FXRs. But the bike looks fucking nice. And so I'm looking at that, and I saw it, and the Corbin seat was like the standard back then. There's like 3 photos of Don Dokken on it now. Yeah, pretty fucking wild. So I'm looking at that, and then somebody sent me over this. Let me find this. Hold on a minute. This Facebook marketplace post. Where is it? Right here. Of this fucking Harley Davidson lowrider that was Rob Halford's. And it's for sale. And the guy, here it is right here, he won it on a Cream magazine contest. It's a 1979 Harley Davidson Shovelhead lowrider, which is a fucking fantastic bike. And it's the one like you would see Rob ride out on the Screaming for Vengeance tour on, that live concert. This is that actual bike that Rob rode forever. And he also did the poster in it. Let's see if you can see this. There it is. Look. So there's Rob, remember? Full leather regalia. That's right around the British Steel era. And, you saw this photo many times in like Cream and Hit Parader and stuff. This is what it looks like now. The guy absolutely destroyed it. But look at this. Here it is right here. There's a Cream magazine contest. You cut out the thing and you sent it into Cream and they did a drawing and you could win Rob's bike, which is fucking insane. So here it is, 24,000 miles. The guy destroyed the bike. Lots of original parts, but also many modifications. I will include the spare parts, excuse me, as well. Well loved by a local motorcycle club member, garage kept, but needs a wash. The bike looks awful. I don't know what the guy's talking about. If someone was mechanically inclined enough just to take it apart and put it back together, it'd be road ready. Fun backstory. My father traded his chopper to the original owner of the bike. The original owner won it in a Cream magazine giveaway from Judas Priest. It was the stage bike for Rob Halford for many tours. My father didn't care much about any of that, so he just started changing parts. Fucking crazy that these two bikes kind of come up in the same day. I was like, fucking nuts. But it's weird to even think that somebody won that. You know, I always thought those contests were bogus. You know, it was the original way to get your content, your information, send in and win. I mean, you know, those 10 CDs for $1 or a penny. Remember that old shit? I bet that they were definitely, that's the original mining for your info. So you thought you got away with, yeah, I never bought the next 3 that you were supposed to buy. Remember that? You get 10 LPs for a penny. And then, you know, what was it? It was Columbia Record Club or whatever. You thought you were getting away with shit. Some people, I remember my buddy would be like, I just send them to the neighbor's house. Then I go over and grab them. I wait for the mailman to come. You thought you were getting away with shit, but really, those fuckers, that was the original mining for your personal information, your name, your address and everything, so they could sell it to junk mailing list. I knew a guy that used to sell junk mail, you know, people's addresses. The guy had like 2 million addresses and he would sell them to people. They'd reach out and go, hey, we need 50,000 names of women in their 40s that live in the Midwest. We're trying to sell sewing machines. This guy would sell them their addresses. It was fucking wild. Anyway, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's what those early contests and shit were, just grabbing your info way before now with the internet, how they grab your info. Fuck. Anyway, so 2 crazy heavy metal historic bikes. And then it got me thinking, wonder what happened to Diamond Dave's Harley. I wonder if he still has it. That one he rode on Panama on Rolling Down Sunset with the fucking bull horns. Wonder what happened to that bike. That'd be an interesting collection. Somebody that just had like all of the heavy metal bikes. That'd be fucking insane. Anyway, go check that out. Don Dawkins FXR. I'll post it on my Patreon and a couple of other things. Speaking of Patreon, I want to give a shout out to the new members. Steve Ronan has joined the Patreon. Thank you. And Jeff Caldwell, who's an old friend of mine, I saw he joined, old Cold Balls, Jeff Cold Balls, Cold Balls, whatever I used to call him. He worked with me. And who else joined the, Oh, yeah, that looks about it this week. Patreon.com/Dean Delray. There's a zillion bonus episodes up right now. And I did a live Zoom with all the Patreoners last week, and I'm going to do it again for the holidays. So join now and enjoy the bonus episodes. New Year's Eve, I said this week, Punchline's coming in February 26, 27, 28, and March 1st. We'll be at the Punchline in San Francisco. And before we get out of here, I want to just touch base on one more thing. I was talking to what was I talking about? I was talking about how these, oh, the Mark from Crocus, how these guys that, there's these guys that just sound fucking just like the record still in their 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, you know, very rare that guys have their incredible vocal range when they get older and their ability to just kick ass live. Um, Mark Crocus being one of them. Dio, rest in peace, was one who sounded amazing all the way till he passed. And, you know, guys that I've seen over the years and just been like, all blown away, like, fuck, they still sound like the album. It's crazy. One of them that blows my mind that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, you always hear about Mick Jagger. God damn, look how old he is, and he's still killing it. Mick Jagger, Mick Jagger. Paul McCartney recently played a couple nights ago. His last show on that Got Back tour with, and Ringo showed up. But you always hear about Jagger. But I am not a big Alice Cooper guy. I'm not really an Alice Cooper guy at all, actually. I'm glad Alice Cooper exists, and I do like the early stuff, like 18 and stuff. The early Alice Cooper, gritty. And I thank God for him because without Alice Cooper, no Kiss, and Kiss is my gateway. But Alice Cooper, really, when I'm kind of, you know, exposed to massive Alice Cooper, is that Venomous Poison or whatever, the MTV era of Alice Cooper. And I just never really was an Alice Cooper guy. I like the human. I like his story. I like Supermensch, his manager's documentary. I love everything about Alice Cooper, his story of getting clean, getting off drugs, and being able to perform right now. But the reason I'm bringing it up is I always see videos of Alice Cooper. This guy tours nonstop. He does not fucking stop touring. And every time a clip comes up in my feed, I'm blown away how great he sounds. He still does the exact show with the fucking boa constrictors and the guillotine and swords and this and his body's amazing. He's totally fit. He sounds spectacular. And I started thinking, I don't think enough people are talking about the level that Alice Cooper is performing at. It is fucking amazing. I watch it and I just go like, God, this guy is, how old is this guy? Hold on. How old is Alice Cooper? 76 years old. And he is performing like he's 40. Just go look at videos of him right now. He's out touring right now. He does not stop touring. As a matter of fact, he has what's that? What's that woman's name? I had her on the podcast. She rejoined on guitar for a little bit. The girl from Australia, fucking dead brain Dean. Anyway, it's just, I just wanted to give a shout out to Alice Cooper because I just don't think enough people are talking about how fucking incredible this guy is at 76 years old. It's always Jagger. You don't hear about Alice Cooper just out there fucking slaying it. His vocals are great. He looks great. He's wearing fucking dope, weird, crazy leather outfits. He plays golf every day. He's out breathing in the Arizona, Phoenix air. Unbelievable. So I just wanted to give a little shout out to Alice Cooper. And like I said, I do like the early Alice Cooper. My buddy Greg, oh my God, we always fight. He's like, oh yeah, Alice Cooper. He likes Alice Cooper, but he doesn't like some of the bands I like. So whenever I put something on, I go, oh no. And I'll be like, oh yeah, let's put on some Alice Cooper then, I guess, huh? Anyway, happy holidays to all of you guys. I hope you're doing good, and don't let any kind of that holiday pressure burden you. Fuck all that, man. It's just it's just all about enjoying this this time of the year where we're about to kick into another new year, 2025. And just wake up each day and go, fuck yeah, I'm alive. Each day you wake up, something could happen good. But you got to get up. You got to fucking get out there and you got to find it. Anyway, candles lit, my friends. Hope to see you in Vegas or San Francisco or this week. I'll be performing at the Comedy Store and Flappers and the Ice House. I'm all over this week. So bring your family out for some family entertainment. See you guys.